Russell Johnston, Senior Associate Commissioner and Acting Director of Special Education. Those are two jobs. And for a while, he was the acting superintendent of a school district all at the same time. Who says our state officials don't work hard?
Thanks, Rich. Good morning and welcome. I think you're about to embark on a fantastic day. I think I'm the last state official to greet you, so once I'm standing between you and the excellent programming for the rest of the day. So I do come on behalf of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. We have the privilege of working with school districts to educate 1 million students each day in Massachusetts, 170,000 of whom have disabilities. And so it's our job to make sure that we are bringing hope. Because while we are leading the nation in so many ways, just as Rich said, there is still, frankly, a long way to go, and we own that responsibility. We walk that walk at the department. And we need to see better outcomes for children with disabilities, children of color, children from poverty, because that's our job, and that's what needs to happen. Our demographics are changing in Massachusetts. Our students are becoming more diverse, and they are also experiencing poverty at greater instances than they ever have in the past. So what are we doing about that? So in special education, one of the most important things that we're doing is to work to improve general education. Because we need general education to be more resilient, more proactive, more inclusive for all children. And one of the key initiatives that we have in this state is that for the first time, we have a cadre of trainers available to districts everywhere across this great Commonwealth who can bring and deliver customized training within each district to help to understand what is cultural proficiency. How do we better welcome children of all types into our schools so they don't have to check any of their identity at the door? Their cultural identity, their linguistic identity should not have to be checked before they walk into our schools. And also so that our teachers understand the impact of poverty on learning and can be more inclusive in their approach, because these strategies, frankly, they're good for all kids. And that's what we want to try to, that's an ambitious goal, to change the hearts and minds of every educator in Massachusetts, but we're on it. And we're gonna stick with it until we're done, except for those snow days that sometimes get in the way. In special education, there's also some important work that we're doing. And frankly, one of the key aspects of special education that I'm very focused on is access to communication. I think it really echoes what we've heard from some of our other commissioners. I go to schools a lot, and when I go into schools, I ask principals, show me the students who have the most significant disabilities in your school, be they in inclusion, be they in a substantially separate setting. I want to go to those classrooms and be with those students. And frankly, one thing that concerns me a fair amount is the lack of access sometimes to communication. And although I seem very mild-mannered standing in front of you today, I do tend to get on my soapbox very quickly and talk about how communication is a human right. And we need to make sure that all children have access to communication in our schools. So in collaboration with the Massachusetts Advocates for Children with MAC, we are currently developing advisory and scenario guidance for districts to help them understand how important aided and augmentative communication is for children and how it can be used to enhance the learning experiences for all children in our schools. So more to come on that, but that's on the docket. What is really right in front of us right now, though, is the issue of school safety. And I want to give a shout out to Melanie McLaughlin, who gave me a well-timed phone call recently and said, Russell, what are you doing to protect and support children with disabilities in our schools when it comes to school safety situations? Great question. Sincerely appreciated it. And I said, Melanie, I've been thinking about school safety a lot, but not exactly through that lens. So let's think about this some more. And so I write a regular newsletter, my team writes a regular newsletter. The lead story in our next newsletter, my comments to all special educators in the state, and it's a widely read newsletter actually, which I'm kind of excited about, is actually how do we support students with disabilities in emergency situations in our schools. And frankly, it begins with you. It really focuses on talking with parents about what do we need to do? How do we meet the unique needs of your child in an emergency situation? So I'm hopeful that that will gain traction. I'm hopeful that if you want to raise that issue in a team meeting, your team will be ready to respond and to support the needs of your children to keep them safe in our schools. So thank you very much. You know, one of the key things that I think about a lot is hope. We need to have hope to guide us forward during these difficult times. Christopher Reeve said, "Once you choose hope, anything is possible." We come together today choosing hope, and together I know anything is possible for our children with disabilities. Thanks very much.